Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over finding the arc length. There's a formula that we're going to use for every single one of these problems. So go ahead and write that formula down. S stands for the arc length. That is called theta, that weird looking O. That's the symbol for the angle, but it has to be in radians. So if our angle is in degrees, we're going to have to do a conversion. And the R stands for the radius. So we're just going to multiply the angle times the radius, and that's going to give us the arc length. In a picture, the angle has to be a central angle. So a lot of times you're going to see that phrase in the sentence. And then there's the radius. And then in between, it'll say like the subtended arc or the intercepted arc. But where the angle meets the circle, that's the length of the arc. All right, so let's start off easy. Go ahead and pause the video, copy that down. All right, so the first example, find the arc length of a of an angle, and we'll say the angle is pi over 2 radians, and the radius equals 6 inches. So here's my formula. Find the arc length. So that means I do not know what the letter S is. That's what I'm going to be solving for. Find the arc length. That's going to be S. So that means somewhere in here they tell me what the angle is. Well, it says the angle is pi over 2 radians. So that's going to go for theta. And it says the radius is 6. So pi over 2 times 6. You can do that in the calculator, or you can simplify it and make this like 1/2 times 6 and then pi. So I'll show you both ways of typing it in the calculator. Either I'm just going to do 1/2 times 6, and I got 3. So that would become 3 pi, because when you don't type the pi symbol in the calculator, you put it attached to your answer. But if I do it as pi over 2 times 6, I just have to round it, 9.42. All right, either way is fine. All right, let's do another one. Find the radius of a circle if the arc length is 12 and the central angle is 30 degrees. So pause the video, copy that down. All right, here's my formula, so let's find out what I know. It says find the radius. So this time I'm not going to have anything to plug in for R. Now these two are being multiplied, so if I want to solve for R, I'm going to be doing the arc length divided by the angle. The arc length divided by the angle is going to be R by itself. So my new little formula is the arc length divided by the angle. It tells me the arc length is 12. It tells me the arc length is 12. And it says the angle, now here's the issue, the angle is 30 degrees. Theta has to be in radians. So we have to convert 30 degrees to a radian before I can move on. So when I convert 30 degrees, I need 180 degrees to be on bottom, so this way the degree cancels. and it's always pi. Pi and 180 are the same. So the fraction is always either pi over 180 or 180 over pi. I need 180 on the bottom to cancel the degree symbol out. So in my calculator, I'm just going to type in 30 divided by 180. 30 divided by 180, and that gave me a decimal. I'm going to hit math, enter, enter to turn it to a fraction. So math, enter, enter, and that pi symbol just goes along for the ride. So instead of 1 over 6, I'm going to put pi over 6. So to solve for the radius, I'm going to do 12 divided by pi over 6. I'm going to show you the two ways to put it in the calculator. It doesn't matter which one you choose to do. The first one I'm going to do 12 divided by 1/6. And since pi is underneath the 12, that would be 72 over pi. Or I can just type it in as 12 divided by pi over 6. And I just have to round that. So 22.92. Both are fine, whichever way is making sense to you. All right, let's do one more. Find the measure of a central angle in a circle with a radius of 5 if the arc length is 15.8 inches. So here's my formula. And this one wants me to find the measure of the angle. That's theta. So since I'm solving for theta, I would normally multiply by r, but I'm going to have to work backwards, which means I'm going to have to divide when I go to solve this. So to solve this out, I'm going to have to do the arc length divided by the radius. So the arc length is 15.8. The radius is 5. And this one doesn't even have pi, so I'm just going to type it in the calculator as 15.8 divided by 5. So 3.16. That's it. That's the answer. All right, so pretty much we're doing that same thing for all of them. I'm either going to do the angle times the radius. I'm going to do the length divided by the radius, and that will give me the angle. Or I'm going to do the length divided by the angle, and that will give me the radius. So you're either multiplying or you're doing the arc length divided by whichever one they give you to solve for the one that's missing. The only other thing to remember is you have to convert. If the angle they give you is a degree, you have to multiply by pi over 180. All right, and feel free to leave pi in the calculator and just round your answers. It doesn't have to be fancy, all right? So try the rest of them.